P.O.L. Game Review.
This is a good game. It's freaking tough though. I don't know. I think I might play something else actually here. Turn this off. Oh, what's up, guys? It's your Venus here from P.O.L Music and P.O.L Game Review. Now, I figured it's about time to go ahead and start talking about the ultimate handheld in 2021. I know my most popular, most played video on the YouTube is my previous comparison of the PSP and the PSP Go and the PS Vita. Now, as you might be able to see, I have a couple Vitas and 3 PSPs in front of me. A 2000, a 3000. These are both 1000, the PS Vitas, and the PSP Go. I also have a couple extra contenders here for a little bonus. Now, which one should I play? Which one? Ooh, Untold Legends. I do need to get back into that because I never really beat it. I think I'm going to go with the Vita, though. This is the PS Vita 1000. And these are both 1000s. This might look like a different model. If you could see the screen protector on it I've put on, it's good. It's good for both PS Vitas. And so it looks like it has the different section for the screen, like the second model, the Slim. But it is actually just protecting more of the front of my PS Vita. So let's see, I've got dozens of games on here. I'm not sure what I want to play. But my point is here that I have a hacked Vita, a non-hacked Vita. I've got a hacked PSP. I think this one might be hacked too. Yeah, this is hacked. This one's not hacked. PSP 3000 hacked, PSP 2000 not hacked, and the PSP Go is hacked. And there's a lot of different things that we can go on about. Which one's most comfortable in your hand, which one looks the nicest with the display, which one fits in your pocket. Now, each one of these might be a different contender if you're mentioning those things. But if we're talking about emulation, they're all pretty good contenders. I do have to say, though, I'm still leaning towards the original PSP and the PSP Go versus the PS Vita as far as ultimate handheld, hacked, handheld gaming devices. It's because it's a lot easier to hack the PSP, for one. The PS Vita is not necessarily for novice hackers. I found that I had to hack this one a couple different times. And let's see if it's still hacked. It is still hacked. So far, so good. Because sometimes when the battery dies in this, I go back and all the hacking seems to be void, and I have to go back on the computer and reinstall the custom firmware and go through the whole process again, re-download everything. The PS Vita is awesome for games if you have them. If you own them, I think I have something like 40 or 50 games, physical copies, and then so many more on here that are downloaded. I have PSP games, I have PS1 games, I have some of the minis and stuff like that. This is an awesome handheld device. It really kills it. But I prefer to use it just as that. I don't find that any of the hacking on the PS Vita is very hacker friendly, and I do some computer stuff, and I'm mostly soldering and handwork. I'm not too big on hacking. But even when I try to download the newest games and stuff, they don't run. They say that it's missing a certain file. Like you get the homebrew browser, and then you try to download. They just released Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, which would be awesome to play on here, but the fact is, when I try to play it, it says it's missing some file, a bin file. Let's just show you right here. So if you could see this, I'll get some close-ups too. We're gonna go ahead and hit the Grand Theft Auto button, start, An error has occurred. Now that even might be because I need to reinstall something on here. I'm not sure, so let's try something else. We're gonna go to we'll just go to the Vita homebrew browser. Oh, error occurred. See, so now it probably the same thing is happening here. I'm gonna try to go to the browser, and then usually I have on here. Okay, so now nothing's working. It's probably something that's simple to some to fix, but I don't want to have to fix that stuff every time. Sure, I can still go in here and play the games that I own. If there's even one in here. There might not be, honestly. I don't think there is. Because this is usually my hacked Vita or my extra. It's a blue one. It's really nice. It's got this silly Mad Catz case on it, but it's got this shiny blue. I really like that. This is my main PS Vita. I bought this day one when it came out, and I keep it in amazing shape. I play all kinds of games. See anything I click on here to start up. See, I'll go to a digital and go to Borderlands. Boom, Borderlands is starting up. You see the difference there between not hacking and hacking? This is a really good device. I mean, everything looks nice. I almost think PSP games look a little better on the original console than the PS Vita because it stretches it out a little bit. It seems a little blurry. I wish they had some kind of, if they were still supporting it, they could put something in there where it like cleans it up. Like a little sort of mini HD upgrade to it. Now here I have my PSP Go. This baby really is my favorite portable handheld that can be hacked because it is so small. My hands aren't that big, you know, I mean it's small, but it works and I like it, and it's perfect for like Game Boy games and Nintendo, Super Nintendo, all that stuff, PSP games. I find that hacked devices don't really play PSP games that well unless you know, get like a really, really expensive one and you drop in some of the homebrew and stuff yourself. There's a little more to it than the Anbernic RG351P, for example, if you get one that comes with like 2,500 games. If you go to the PSP games on there, they mostly don't run well unless you're playing some of the 2D games like the Metal Slug games or something like that. But you go to try some of the 3D games and they're a little glitchy. It's not that great. Now PS1 and under are really good on the Anbernic devices, and I'll talk about that in a little bit here too. But basically, when it comes down to these, if you're not going to get an Anbernic device, you want to play games that are a little higher quality, PSP and up, then you want to go with a PSP or a PS Vita. Right now, I would recommend investing in a PS Vita because they're becoming harder to find and they're really nice, especially the original release with the OLED screen. And the PSP Go is getting harder and harder to find too. And if you like the form factor, definitely spring on this, because I mean, I don't support going and downloading ROMs and stuff like that, but if you have the games, you know how to dump them, you know somebody's dumped them, and you want to put them on here, they play perfectly, and it's so nice. So when it comes down to it, it's form factor. Do you want it to fit in your hands and your pockets just as well? Do you want it to fit in your pockets a little more for convenience, and you're willing to take the dive for the button placement and such? Are you going for the biggest and baddest? I still play this more than my Nintendo Switch, to be honest. There's no drift, for example. And, you know, if you're going for the middle and you want to play those physical games, I have probably about, I see some behind me, I want to say 80 to 100 PSP games. And I play those all the time, too. Like I said, I have Untold Legends in here right now. and I'm playing through the game again because I never really beat it. I remember renting it from the Blockbuster back in the day near my house. They happened to have some PSP games. And I played some of it, but I could only hold on to the game for a few days. So, yeah, and then I'm going to play through the second Untold Legends. I have a lot of PSP games, and I want to play the physical ones. So, of all of these, I'm going to go with the original PSP, the 3000. Yes, this is a purple model, Hannah Montana. The 2000 is great too, but I think I like the screen a little better on this one, the 3000. And so, if you're going for something more old school, you're playing Game Boy games, you want to play all the Pokemons and the Game Boy Zeldas and Game Boy Advance and all that stuff, then I wouldn't go for these at all unless you're interested in PSP and PS Vita games as well. What I would spring for, with caveat attached, would be the Anbernic 351P. Unfortunately, if you dig around in here and mess around and you transfer files onto it that you haven't tested before, you may accidentally do something that has happened to my console. I haven't seen anybody mention this yet, but let's go ahead and power this on. Now we're going to see this try to load up, but it never does. It never finishes loading. It gets stuck at the very end of the bar. And I believe I'm going to have to reflash the whole system because it's junk right now technically, and it's more difficult to do that than you would think. To flash, you have to take everything off and put it back on. And I do have another one of these coming, a white one, and then I will figure out how to flash this and probably give it away. But this baby is awesome. Perfect for anything up to and through the PS1. Doesn't do N64 that great. A couple of the games, yeah. Doesn't do all the games for above the PS1, but PS1 and down below, it does everything like flawlessly. That's not true. There are some heavy-duty PS1 games that I've run into that it's either just the file wasn't very good or it couldn't handle it. But the majority, like I used to play NFL Blitz on here all the time. See how it still hasn't loaded? So then you have to hard power it off by just holding the power button until it's black. So there's the caveat, is this comes with 2,500 games if you buy it from the right place, 64 gig memory card. It works perfectly right out the box. And if you don't mess around with the files, you just play what's on it, which is plenty, then you're good to go. Just be careful. And remember, it's a good idea to flash the whole thing or copy some files as soon as you get it before you tinker around. Look into it online. I'm not a specialist at that. And then if we're going to talk about all of these, might as well talk about the PlayStation TV just for a little bit. The PlayStation TV is basically a PS Vita without the portability, so we're not really going to talk about it here. But if you want to learn more about that, look it up, or if you just want me to do a video on it, I can do that. So I think I'm going to go ahead and kick back with my PSP Go and play some Pokemon. I'll catch you guys on the flip. Oh. Fast recovery. Oh. It's not as nearly as, it's not nearly as hard as I. Never mind. Come on, Pokemon.
P.O.L. Game of you.